Welcome back. It's once again time to dial it back and go inside. It's time for the third time to go inside TEW. Now, with this series, it's when I pull back the curtain and show off personal seasons. Personal games that I've been playing in TEW that typically I would not share with you guys. But I thought, why not? I mean, I do some things in the season that I'm proud of and would like to share with people. And, well, that's why I came up with this series, to give me a platform to share seasons with you guys other than those that I have in a Let's Play series. And I am aware that this isn't the first time I opened the door on the WCW 1991 season. I opened it back in the early part of 1997, and then again at the end of 1997. But this is the first time I'm opening the door in 1998, and we are in the spring of 1998, the early part of the spring, and I just want to go through the champions quick before I book WCW Saturday night. And the reason why I want to go through the champions is because I believe the last time I was here, I could be wrong, but I believe that the last time I was here, Chris Jericho was television champion, Rock and Roll Express were the tag team champions, Sting, Ric Flair was world champion, and Sting was challenging for the title with Anthony Durant. Devon Storm was still, either Devon Storm or Ultimo Dragon were Cruiserweight champion. I don't remember. I realized that would mean that either Nasty Boys or Rock and Roll were the tag team champions. You know what I'm gonna say? I think it was the week before Halloween Havoc, which I think is when most of these title changes happened. So I'm gonna say that, no, Rock and Roll were the tag team champions and Chris Jericho was television champion and Ric Flair was world champion, and I could look back, but I think it was Sting that was challenging for the title at Halloween Havoc. Halloween Havoc, yes, I was right. Sting was challenging for the belt at Halloween Havoc, basically because of the fact that in the 7 years since I started, Sting has never beaten Ric Flair for the world title. He's lost the title to Flair, but he's never beaten him for the belt. And this was the first time that Sting actually beat Flair for the title. Devon Storm was not Cruiserweight champion. This was before he actually won the belt back from the Ultimo Dragon. Ultimo Dragon was Cruiserweight champion the last time I opened this store. Arn Anderson was United States champion, but after a recent feud with Chris Jericho, that changed. The hardcore title had yet to be reestablished, as I brought the belt back in 1998, in January 98, so the hardcore title wasn't here the last time, and as you saw when I first went into it, the Battle Bowl Cup was won by Anthony Durant. But the reason why this was going on is because of the fact that, well, basically you would say, okay, WWE, they brought in their hardcore title in late 1997. They gave it to Mankind. I brought it in 1998. No, I'm not doing it to copy WWE, because WWE doesn't have the hardcore title in my season. I haven't had them activate the belt yet. I do think it's in their retired titles, and I think I could activate the belt, but I haven't went to the company to activate the title. But either way, I decided to bring the belt in because I wanted a new title, but I didn't want it to be a title or but I wanted it to be a title I already had. So that's why I chose to bring in the hardcore title. Because I also thought that, if hypothetically WWE did not bring in the hardcore title, I would need something to differentiate myself from the WWE. And that's why I chose to have it be the the hardcore title, because also, unlike WWE, I'm not gonna have it where the hardcore title is 24/7. It's going to be, it's going to be not 24/7, but only eligible to be competed for in matches. Meaning, Edge will not be having backstage segments with talent competing for the hardcore title. Edge will only be defending the hardcore title in hardcore matches in the ring, starting in the ring. Why? Well, because WWE's hardcore division and hardcore title was anytime, any place, anywhere, 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have it be 24/7. I'm going to have it be only eligible to be competed for in the ring. And that's the reason why Sting, that's the reason why Edge will only defend the title in the ring and not out of the ring. The Boss is engaged in a feud with Booker T over the fact that Booker T, basically, the Boss thinks that Booker T's win over him a few weeks ago was a fluke, and that it's an embarrassment that an ex-con defeated him. But we haven't. The Boss has only tight-roped around it. He hasn't really, came right out and said that he doesn't like the fact that he's embarrassed about the idea that he lost to somebody who spent time in prison. This match is Steve Austin versus Vader at the next pay-per-view, which the pay-per-view is actually tomorrow, and no, the pay-per-view will not be featured on camera because I don't want it to be. Eric Bischoff, Dean Malenko, Shawn Michaels, Vader, Steve Austin. Basically, it starts with Eric talking about the match at the pay-per-view between Vader and Steve Austin. And then Shawn Michaels comes out and demands a match against Dean Malenko at the pay-per-view. And then Dean Malenko joins it. I'm just checking to see. Okay, Dean, Eddie. Okay, so it's 1-1. And no, if you're wondering, I'm not gonna have Shawn and Vader against Austin and Dean Malenko because I don't want to. Okay, so we go like this. So it's not here, it's here. There we go. Ric Flair, limousine, halfway through the show. And then we move to, or not I wouldn't say halfway, I would say to a point where some may say he should have been here already. But, as you probably are aware, people come and go as they please. And then we have the Patriot and Marcus Bagwell against the Guerreros. I take it back. I don't want to put him against the Guerreros. I don't know if I want to book a tag team match. Okay, fine. Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney. And then you're going to see another feud begin as Stars and Stripes versus Body Donis. Tom Pritchard, Chris Candido, the Patriot, Marcus Bagwell, and of course, Tammy Lynn Sitch. But the feud's not going to start the way that feuds seem to normally start. Instead, Tammy's going to come in and say something to the effect of, you guys may think that you're on a level, but you're not on our level. And you're going to see what I'm talking about. Everybody's going to see what I'm talking about when the time is ready. Bobby Eaton, who's television champion, backstage with Eddie Guerrero. Backstage with Eric Bischoff, rather. Totally forgot I didn't want to include somebody else extra in the segment. Just Bobby and Eric, which Bobby and Eric are talking about Bobby's title defense tomorrow at the pay-per-view, and if Bobby should be entitled to have to defend his title any way he pleases. And by any way he pleases, I mean if he should be able to defend his title against anyone in an open challenge match. And no, Eddie is not competing at the pay-per-view. Devon Storm is. And Devon Storm is, of course, with Eddie tonight at ringside. You know what? He's not. Tommy Rich is. They build up that match because Eddie's not competing. And of course, we're going to need to build up the world title matches. James Mitchell hypes up Sting and Mankind, showing a history package of some sort of the history between the two. How about Jeep Swanson versus Jeff Jarrett? Yes, Jeep Swanson is who you think he is, and I know most of you are saying, who the hell is he? I don't know. It just sounded right to say he is who you think he is. And with the fact that Swanson has failing stats, I'm going to let Jeff Jarrett win. Ric Flair, Anthony Durant. We build up this with Joey, Maro, and Lee Marshall. Not Kimberly, Lee Marshall. Jesse, Booker, and the Boss. And then we have Diamond Dallas Page, Barry Windham, and yeah. And then we, I guess, could have one other match, since Pillman's not competing at the pay-per-view. And also we have a good amount of segments at the end of the show. This way we can split them up. Abdullah won, as you saw. Unfortunately, at his age, he can barely compete in a 5-minute match, so we may have a problem here. Booker T's feud with the Boss continues, where Eric says he'll take care of it and figure something out for the pay-per-view. And as you saw what it was, Jimmy Del Rey goes up against Mike Quackenbush. Del Rey gets a victory with a moonsault. And then we have a clusterfuck of a segment between Eric, Dean, Shawn, Vader, and Austin. The reason why I ran this segment is because I was thinking about doing a match with one of these variations of people, but I chose not to do the match and keep Mankind and Dustin Rhodes as the main event. Then we have Ric Flair show up in the arena. Stars and Stripes against Balls and Axel. And then Tammy comes out, cuts the promo I mentioned earlier, building up, obviously, the debut of her clients, her new tag team, which, if you know anything about the Body Donners, you know who the Body Donners are, Tom Pritchard and Chris Candido, and also you saw me make the feud, so you know Tammy's tag team is the Body Donners. And then we see Bobby Eaton enter the office of Eric Bischoff to discuss his television title match at the pay-per-view, and if Eric has a challenger for him, or if it will be an open challenge match. And to find that out, well, I'm gonna have to see the pay-per-view. I don't know if it was seen on camera or not, but Dan Severn's contract is expiring, and that's the reason why I put him in this match against Eddie Guerrero. It's because I am not signing Dan Severn back. Dan is going back to free agency, and this is one of a few losses he may take on his way out the door. Because Eddie's not competing at the pay-per-view, but his feud with Dustin needed an extra boost, so instead of just giving him promo time, I gave him a match as well. And now we move to the hype video of sorts for Mankind versus Sting for the WCW World Heavyweight title. See, I looked down almost to try and see if there's in-ring performance or not, even though I know there's not going to be. Because I want to try and figure out why the match got so bad. You know, is it just because the people... You know, is it just because the people weren't good? I mean, honestly, it looks like Jeep Swenson is to blame for it, so I guess I made the right decision, making him lose. There really isn't anything I can say about this segment, other than Ric Flair takes the lead and guides Durant through the segment as they build up their pay-per-view match at Uncensored. The decision has been made. The Body Shop Jesse Ventura's interview segment will happen at Uncensored with his special guests, Booker T and the Boss. You saw me book this match. There really isn't anything to this match other than the fact that it's a jobber match to get Brian Pillman on the show. Very unfortunate segment. Ugh. No wonder why I never used Scott Hudson as an interviewer. Either way. Really good match. Really good match. Really good match between two of the top talents here in WCW. And yes, I do realize 16 minutes and Dustin Rhodes was on the verge of getting exhausted. That's not good. I realize that. What are you going to do? Let's see how good we did. Increased our popularity in 3 regions. And in 83. That's good in my book. That's pretty good in my book, you know? Yeah. And I feel like I built up enough for the pay-per-view. And also I feel like some things like this start before the pay-per-view and will continue after. Also like the Boss and Booker T. So, you know, let me know what you think down in the comment section of how I booked that last show. Before we go, I just wanted to make one... I wanted to check something, or... I forget what I wanted to do, but there was a reason why I'm keeping the recording going. So, bear with me for a second. Come on, you stupid game. You can you can keep going. Come on. Yes, this happens a lot. Oh, here we go. What did I want to do? Oh, Steven Regal did an interview segment. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Initially, I was gonna do this. I was going to record the pay-per-view. But I chose not to. I chose to record the show before the pay-per-view. You know, not for any particular reason, or maybe because I thought it would be a little bit more in-depth and a little bit more understanding because, you know, seeing the stuff built up and work itself out rather than just seeing everything written out and everything prepared as I pay off Jeep Swanson, who apparently was pissed at me, and I knew Bill Watts would be after his incident. Just, you know, some selfish behavior. Unfortunately, I can't fix that from Terry Funk because I tried and it didn't work. This is what I meant by me elaborating a little bit more. I have everything set up. You know, I'm just going to say this. Thank you to Adam Ryland and thank you to Grey Dog Software for putting this in the games, the pre-booking ability, because I love pre-booking. Love pre-booking. As you can tell, because I have shit booked all the way up to Starrcade. And this, by the way, DDP versus Steve Austin, will be the feud for the world title going into Starrcade. And then this will be the feud following Starrcade. When you guys will be back, I don't know. If you want to see another video detailing the history of this season and the continuation of this season, let me know down in the comment section below, because the next Inside TEW game I was likely going to do was of a different personal season that I'm doing, other than this one in TEW 2013. I'm not saying you will never hear from this season again. It's just that the last 2 episodes have been about this season, and this isn't a Let's Play series. It's a series to show what I'm doing outside of the Let's Play series. So I thought maybe opening the door and going into other seasons to prove that I do actually have other personal seasons than this one. So let me know down in the comment section below if you'd like to see other seasons that I'm doing, or if you'd prefer seeing one more episode of WCW. Let me know down in the comment section below, because as always, feedback is more than welcomed and appreciated. But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always leave a like, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.